Day one of Eagles training camp officially in the books, and boy, do we have some interesting developments as one Eagles rookie already back on the field, expected to be good for week one. This is huge. We have another Eagles young defender who has lost a ton of weight and is in the best shape of his life. Also, another Eagles young stud defender apparently playing multiple positions at camp, and Jalen Hurts talks about his mentality and why he doesn't care what you think. He's going to do what it takes to win. We will break it all down and more right here on A to Z Philly. But welcome in to the show. I am RB, and we are officially back. Like, it felt like waking up on Christmas morning. Boom, the Eagles are on the practice field. They're out there today. We heard from everybody. We'll talk about some of the quotes. We'll look at some of the practice footage, but we have to start it off with the Eagles injury report. Jalen Carter did not practice with a shoulder injury. He also did not practice in the spring at the end. The last practice he was out, so something to keep our eyes on for now. Nothing else was said about it. Quinyon Green had a knee injury and also was not practicing today. And Jihaad Campbell and Cam Jurgens were limited. But that guy right there, Jihaad Campbell, we'll get to him in just a few moments. Tyler Steen also got the first reps at right guard today, something to keep note of. We expected him to get the first team reps, but looks like he is kind of locking in his spot right now, and it's his to lose. Now, before we get into Jihaad Campbell, a couple others that we need to talk about, all right? Jordan Davis in a practice clip today from ESP. You tell me what you think down below, because we saw Jordan Davis lose a lot of weight last year. Him and Jalen Carter and the other guys talked about the conditioning, how important it was. But he looks like he lost even more weight. I'm talking 20 pounds. We heard him at the end of the last season. He said he was in love with the Peloton. Well, he might have a love affair because, this guy has been doing his cardio. Jordan Davis, who had his fifth-year option picked up, might emerge and make a really tough decision for the Eagles in the near future, the next year or two. Another guy who's in tremendous shape, as we already know, is Saquon Barkley. And yes, he is back trying to rush for 2,000 yards again. Look at Saquon. I mean, this guy had almost 400 carries last year, and he looks brand new. He looks fresh. He said he had to hesitate this offseason at points, not just go 110% all the time because they had an extended workload, because he did. And, I mean, he just looks like he's in the best shape of his life. So shout out to Saquon Barkley. We already know about him. I can't wait to see him back out on the field again and see what he can do this season as a follow-up. But a guy we really want to see out in the field in week one is Jihaad Campbell. He's really one of the big question marks entering the training camp. And we heard Vic Fangio before say that he would not be really ready till about August, and maybe miss part of the season to begin. But first-round rookie Jihaad Campbell, an absolute steal, was getting reps on the field today. He was with the second team at linebacker. Yes, he was limited, but he was on the field, and look at him. Take a look for yourself. Doing a couple different ball drills here. He looks to be in great shape, man. We know he's got a great work ethic. We heard that from his coaches even at Alabama. And he was a workhorse last year. But here's another view of Jihaad Campbell. He looks to be in good shape, man. He does not look like a guy that just had a shoulder surgery. Wow, what a cut, man. Drives through it. If Jihaad Campbell is good to go week one, I'm telling you right now, watch out. This guy could end up being the rookie of the year. I'm proclaiming it now because we saw what guys like Coop and Quinyon did last year in this defense, and Jihaad Campbell's like a perfect chess piece for what Vic Fangio likes to do. So shout out to Jihaad Campbell. He is officially back. And another guy who's back for year number 2 that is one of the most important pieces in this training camp is Jalyx Hunt. Right, we've talked about the edge. The Eagles go out. They signed more depth yesterday. We know Nolan Smith is going to take that jump, recovering from his injury. Hopefully can be a double-digit sack guy. But on the other end, you need Jalyx Hunt. You need Jalyx Hunt to emerge, be that guy, show us that glimpse of potential we saw at the end of last year, but also take another big burst. And he had a quote-unquote sack, right? They're not playing with the pads, but he got to Jalen Hurts. So he had a pretty good start to the day. And this was one of my favorite quotes of the day from Jordan Mailata about Jalyx Hunt. He says, quote, he has tendencies like Micah Parsons just to be able to cut on a dime like that. Jalyx is going to be a star. When you have this type of praise and recommendation from your teammates, I mean, that speaks a lot. That says a lot. So I'm looking forward to Jalyx Hunt. Speaking of Micah Parsons, he showed up to camp today, said something about a back injury, not really playing that much. So Micah Parsons is pissed off with the Cowboys. We already knew that. And the Cowboys are terrible. Now let's talk about one guy who is going to absolutely dominate again this season. The Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts, had a lot to say today, right? Usually he doesn't say too much. He had some interesting things to say today. First off, he had a really good day at camp. He went 14 for 15. Last year, he was perfect through like 4 days of camp. Everybody was talking about it. Jalen Hurts is coming in, handling business. He's acting like a professional, and he threw the ball all around today. Looked very good. He looked solid, polished, whatever you want to call it. He had a great day. And Jalen Hurts had a quote about his play style, and this really speaks volumes for all the national takes out there, and even the people within this media in this town who try to say, well, Jalen has to throw more and do this. I can't understand the Jalen slander. First off, Jalen won the Super Bowl. He won Super Bowl MVP. He also had a Super Bowl a couple years ago where he outplayed the best player in the world and pretty much dominated that man twice in 2 Super Bowls. Jalen doesn't have to change a damn thing. If the way you're playing is winning, who cares? He was asked if he'll open up his play style now that he's won a Super Bowl. Quote, no. I've went a long time being told I have to do it a certain type of way. That didn't get me the win when I did it how everyone told me to. When you put so much energy into personal performance, you kind of lose sight of the main thing of winning. Since the loss in 22, it's been my main motivation to find ways to win regardless of how it looks. I just want to find ways to win, and that is the mentality I want this team to have. That is a leader right there. Stop telling him he has to throw 30 times. Stop telling him this. When you have a workhorse in Saquon that can rush for 2,000 yards, any other quarterback would be stupid to try to throw it 45 times a game. He makes winning plays, whether it's with his arm, with his feet, it doesn't matter. And he has the right mentality. This guy is nothing but a winner, and I'm tired of people talking about him. But you know what? Maybe this is what he needs. Because when you win Super Bowls, you need something to keep inspiring you and motivating you. And maybe this is what he needs. He's going to go out there and prove all these haters wrong again. Jalen Hurts asked why he didn't wear his Super Bowl ring at the ceremony. Quote, I've moved on to the new year. It's as simple as that. Look at that dead eye look right there. He is so locked in and focused, it's not even funny. He is ready to go win the Super Bowl today. He doesn't care about last year. That's what this team's mentality is. And Nick Sirianni is expressing the right mindset for this team. And everybody's echoing it. That's what the mentality should be. You can't get complacent. You can't get wrapped up in what you did. Everything is fresh. Zeros across the board. It is time to go do it again. And they're led by the right type of leaders, as you can see. Jalen Hurts says, quote, the past is behind us and the future is too far away. This is a new journey. And Nick Sirianni says they cannot use the word repeat. I love it, man. This is how you build a dynasty. You don't get complacent at all. Now, on the other side of the ball, the defense, all right, look at these potential starters. Howie was talking today about how the whole defense is essentially under 25, with the exception of 2 players. That's Reed Blankenship, who's 26, and Zach Bond, who's 28. I mean, that's just incredible, impressive. This is how the league is trending now. And now that the Eagles set the example that you can win this way with this young of a team, they have the prototype. They have the blueprint for how to be successful, and it's right here. And at corner today, the one guy who did struggle a little bit was Kelee Ringo. He got all the first team snaps today, so obviously they're putting their trust in Kelee, as we know, but he got beat deep twice, first by Terrace Marshall and then by A.J. Brown. By the way, A.J. did give a little bit of praise to Terrace Marshall, saying he's going to make the wide receiver competition even harder. So that's good, to have that backing from a guy like A.J. Brown. But Kelee Ringo's going to have to continue to work on that technique, and whatever it is, obviously we didn't see the video clips of it, but he's going to have to get that down because the Eagles need Kelee to be that number 2 lockdown corner. Speaking of lockdown corner, Quinyon Mitchell breaks up a one-handed catch by A.J. Brown. Quinyon picking up right where he left off. And then let's talk about safety, because Cooper DeJean was the safety today in base defense. So that was a little bit confusing and surprising. Vic said that Coop was going to be the corner in base defense, right? And obviously Coop is an elite nickel corner, but in base, right? You want to keep him on the field. So we thought he would be sliding over to the other corner slot, but now they have him at safety. So we know Coop is versatile and he's a Swiss Army knife. He can play multiple positions, but having him at safety is a little interesting. Does that mean they're not as confident with who's there? Something to keep our eyes on. However, they did report later on the Eagles went back to nickel. They had Sidney Brown at safety, and they had Cooper DeJean at the nickel. Kelee was the starting corner opposite of Quinyon. And also, they said Andrew Mukuba came in with the first-team defense. So they are rotating the reps between Mukuba, between Sidney Brown. It is seriously a competition and a battle here at training camp, and we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. But who knows? Maybe Coop can play all over the field. I still want to keep him at nickel just because of how comfortable he looked and how good he was. I don't want to mess that up, but we'll see what Vic Fangio does. I completely trust in him. Lastly, we have A.J. Brown, and look at that freaking smile, man. I love A.J. He is one of the best players in franchise history already. He said he was speechless by the Super Bowl ring. He did not eat at the party, went only for the ring, called it one of the best feelings, and he deserves every little bit of it. As much nonsense as Jalen got, I mean, AJ also gets it as well, and he's been nothing but professional and dominant and just a superstar, and here he was today at training camp looking like the same old AJ Brown. I mean, this is going down as one of the best trades in NFL history, in my eyes, to get AJ Brown like this. And the guy that traded for AJ Brown, Howie Roseman, on his mindset with building the Eagles rosters, his quote, "We have a lot of young players coming down the pipeline that we want to keep in Philly, but we want to win. We want to win next year. We want to win going forward. Winning is all that matters. It cures everything." And Howie is doing his best job managing this team. He talked about all the draft picks they have. He said they can upgrade the team this year. They can upgrade the team next year. It doesn't matter. Last but not least, echoing the mindset of this team today and everything I heard, Jordan Mailata with the best quote of the day. He says, "Whatever we did last year doesn't matter. We're not defending nothing. We're not the defending champs. We're not defending bleep. I don't like hearing that. Defending champions. We have our mission, and now we got to go do it all over again." That's how you approach the season. That's how you go into it. I've heard all I need to hear. They're not going to just sit there and let things unravel like they did in the past. They are going out there to kick some serious butt, and they're going to make another deep playoff run. It's only day one of camp. I'm overreacting. I love the Eagles. I love football, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Give me your thoughts from day one down below. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I will catch you on the next one.